again start with the previous lecture, in which we just discussed about the concept of the underpinning and the different condition when we use the underpinning process. Again, we just repeat these things relevant to the type. So as we discussed in the last lecture, that we have totally two types available for the underpinning process. The first one is represented as the pit method, and the second one is represented as the pile method. Okay, so in today's lecture we just go with the different process in terms of different type. So the first method is represented as the pit method, either or it is also known as the mass concrete method. Now the mass concrete method or the pit method is a traditional method that can be used from different century and followed by the different century. This method is involved the extending of the old foundation till it reach with the stable strata. Okay, one of the best way to utilize the pit method is it will be used for the extending your existing foundation, either or old foundation with some of the strata that can be stable enough so I can move my load toward the hard strata. Like, okay, so the second point is like the soil below the existing foundation is excavated. Now in the second point we just go with the procedure. Okay, so what is the procedure? The procedure is like we need to excavate the soil which is lie in the existing foundation in a controlled manner through the stages or pin. That means, now taking an example, we have this type of structure and here is the foundation. Like if we draw the wall and for example here it is the foundation. So with the pit method, what we do first, we just excavate the soil below your existing foundation. So if there is a soil, we need to excavate this one. Okay, and this process is used with the different stages. Like we just go with the first step, then after second stage, then after third stage, then after fourth stage, something like this. Okay, and that stage also represented as pin. Now the question is, sir, up to how much depth we need to provide stages? So whenever you have the suitable strata and you have reached at the suitable strata, the excavation is filled with the concrete and keep for some days for curing work. And then before the next excavation start, this process must be completed. Clear? So right now, what is the actual process of the pit method? So first you have the particular structure, you have particular foundation. First remove the existing soil below the foundation, then provide different stages, but each and every stage have the tendency, first you provide the stage, then after fill this with the concrete, again go with the stage, fill with concrete, stage, fill with concrete. Okay, now keep one thing in mind, we just complete the concreting work in the stage, not for the entire foundation. Okay, again I repeat, we just pour the concrete to providing the stages, not for the completion of foundation work. Okay, now so all the process are completed before the next excavation start. Clear? Now the next one is, in order to transfer the load from old foundation to the new foundation. Now what happening right now? So we have the two condition, or we have two foundation like this and like this, though this one is old foundation and this one is new foundation. So right now the condition is arise like you need to transfer your existing load from old foundation to new foundation. So because of that, I also provide to a new pin, that means a new stage, that means by placing a dry cement sand pack. So in between days, I also providing the pin that means stage, one of the stage that can be made with the help of dry sand cement. This is a very low cost method and suitable for the shallow foundation only. So we have the limitation. What is the limitation? The pit method is only used for the shallow foundation. Now move towards the actual condition. The stage divided into section, a maximum 1.5 meter and minimum 1.2 meter. So we have limitation in two directions. Number one, the condition of your foundation must be shallow foundation, and the length of your stages must be varies from 1.5 meter to 1.2 meter. Clear? Now we just move toward the actual condition of pit method. So here we have one of the presentation. So we have pit method in video presentation mode. So we just go with that. So you can see easily that we have the existing structure, and I just use the pit method as we have shallow foundation. So again I want to repeat that the pile foundation and the pit foundation, this is the method for the underpinning, and we just go with the pit method or number one method. So in the theoretical process, what we indicate, we just go in the step by step process or stage by stage process. So in the first condition, as you seen easily that I just provide one step or one stage. Clear? It is also represented as the pin. So here we go with the one stage only, and this thickness is represented as the concreting work. Okay, so this is the process. After completion of each and every stage, I just pour the concrete, and rest of the procedure is wait for the curing work. And after the curing is completed, my entire foundation is completing with the newly foundation. Clear? So this is the representation of the pit method. Now pile method we did not discuss right now, but we just go with the video presentation only. So as the name indicate, in this method we use the pile. Pile method, the procedure are same for the excavating of soil. After that, you just provide the agar boring. Agar boring, it is one of the process of excavate your soil from any type of ground. Clear? So the process is represented like agar boring, and with help of that, I just excavate the particular soil below my ground level. So as I reach up to the required strata, that I continue with the construction of pile. In this video we have limitation of that, so because of that we just neglect it. So again we just go with the method number one, which is represented as the pit method, and the pit method is also available with the subcategory which is represented as the pit method by cantilever beam or needle beam. So here you can see easily the cross section of your existing building, that means the existing foundation and the new foundation. Okay, the process is something like, first you need to provide support to your existing building, because in this process we just complete the different tasks below the ground level, and when we go below the ground level, the superstructure first must be supported with different types of props. So as you seen in this slide, what we done right now, first we just provide a needle beam, and that needle beam can be installed via providing hole to your existing wall. After that, that needle must be supported with the creep support, or you can also call as a jack or hydraulic jack, and that hydraulic jack is totally supported with the help of needle beam. So right now your entire load of the structure is directly moved on the providing jack or on the providing creep. So after that I just continue with the digging process, and that digging process is also fulfilled with the pit. So here is the pit, this is the pit. The process is like, first you go in the first stage, then after pour the concrete for that, and then go with the second stage, again pure concrete, then third stage, again pure concrete, and after that we just continue with the foundation work. Okay, so here we have the old foundation, and what we need to process, we need to go with the new foundation. So you can see easily that the dotted line and the particular dot is represented as the new foundation which will be available below the existing foundation. Clear? So this entire process is represented as the underpinning method, and the providing the new foundation may have any reason. It may be the surrounding soil water available, it may be the building will be strike because of any of the upcoming disaster. Okay, so we have so many reasons, and to overcome that type of reason, I just provide the new foundation below the existing foundation or old foundation. Clear? Now the next one is we have go with the some of the example. So here you can see easily that the process of the underpinning is providing with the hydraulic jack. So these are the different hydraulic jack, and this is your below ground level structure, starting of your below ground level structure. Clear? Now again we just go with the one note that if in your building any interior strong column exists, in earlier stage we just discussed, like when we need to undergo any new foundation below the existing foundation, at that time we directly use the pit method. But sometime during the process, suppose you have the interior strong column, or the second condition, if the foundation is to be extended only in the one side, that means in the vertical direction instead of horizontal direction. That means in the pit method we are going to like this in the vertical direction, but sometime we also need to extend our foundation in the horizontal direction. So that point is represented like this. Clear? Then during that condition, a cantilever needle beam system is used in place of central needle beam system. So again I want to go in the back slide. Then here we can see easily that we just use the needle beam method, and that needle beam method is totally installed in between my wall via providing hole. Why? Because we go in the vertical direction, or we just extend the foundation in the vertical direction. Because of some circumstances, we just go in the horizontal direction, or we just want to extend our foundation. So at that time we move toward the next subcategory of first method, which is represented as the cantilever beam method. So right now the remaining process are same, but only one changes is, in the earlier stage I provide needle beam only in the single wall. Clear? But in this method we provide the needle beam throughout the entire building. Like here it is a condition of wall 1, here it is a condition of wall 2, and we have the in between column or the existing column. Okay, now what is the next thing? So next thing is I just want to extend my house or extend my any particular building. So because of that reason, this totally newly area is constructed with the help of underpinning process. Okay, now again we just go with the some of the easiest example. Like if you have this type of building, like consider it is a row house and this is a particular single house. So here it is a foundation, this is the totally ground condition, here it is the end portion, and here is your start portion, and this is your elevation, here is your door, something like window, and extend your house like some of the meters. So what happening right now, here we have existing foundation, and here we need to provide the new foundation. So during that condition I provide the needle in terms of cantilever beam. So the cantilever needle is fixed with this, fixed at that, and it is also continue during the foundation work. So this is also continue like this. Okay, so this is the extended portion. This is the newly extended portion, and as we know that this is the existing foundation, and here I need to provide the newly foundation. So during that, this method is strike. Clear? So you can see easily the existing wall to be supported, and this is the newly foundation work. Clear? So up to that slide we have two conditions. Number one, when you just move your existing building or extend your existing building up to some of the meter or up to some of the dimension, at that time the cantilever needle beam method as a pit method is used. But when you strengthening your existing foundation and go into the vertical direction and construct new foundation below the existing foundation, okay, like this, then you go with the simplest pit method. Okay, now the next one is represented as the pile method. So as the name indicate, we use the pile for the underpinning process. Clear? Then in this method, the pile are driven on the adjustment side of the wall that support the weak foundation. So what I need to do, I just driven the pile directly from the wall, and that can be supported to my weaker foundation. A needle or pin penetrate through the wall that can be turned as connected to the pile as shown in figure. The figure will be available in the next slide. Okay, so don't worry about that. Then after, the needle behave like a pile cap, and after that use where settlement in the soil due to water clogging or clayly nature to be treated by this method. So that type of problem will be solved out with the help of pile method. Now we just go with the simplest way. So what is the process in the pile method? So first we go directly to providing the hole like this. We just provide hole here, we just provide hole here. Then after, we install the needle like this and like this. After installing the needle, we just pour the concrete. Okay, so this is the concrete and this is the concrete, and then after we just complete that entire process via providing the cap, and that cap is represented as the pile cap. Okay, so this is the simplest process in terms of pile method. Now we just go with the some of the example. So here you can see easily that in this structure the original foundation is utilized with the brickwork. Then after, we just go with the concreting work. So here we have the existing one and here we have the new one. So we just give 5 seconds to establish this figure is represented in which type of underpinning work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, very good. Your answers are right. This method is represented as the pit method. Why pit method? Because we have two conditions here. Number one, we go in the vertical direction, and number two, there is no any in between column available for my underpinning process. So because of that reason, I easily understand that this figure is represented for the method number one. Now another example. Here we just provide the support, and here we have the needle that can be continued throughout the structure. Okay, this figure is also represented for the both cases. Like we just go in the horizontal direction as well as we go in the vertical direction. And as we discussed in the pit method, that we first remove the existing soil nearer area and the surrounding area of my foundation. Then after I starting my process of the underpinning, then after again fill the soil. Okay, so you can see easily that this is the existing foundation and this one is a new foundation. Okay, and students, I also want to clarify one thing. In India, as we seen that it is a very complex method, clear, so it is not possible that each and every person capable to establish this condition and handling this condition. It is a very rare condition that the structural engineer or any site engineer or any builder to suggest to go with this type of technique. Okay, but if you are go in the outer country or foreigner country like New Zealand or America or Switzerland, then they have the best practice towards the underpinning process. Clear? So up to that lecture, we just complete the timbering in trenches process as well as shoring and underpinning process. So thank you for watching this video. In next lecture, we again continue with some of the content from the special work relevant to the construction work. Thank you so much.